Hey everyone, Alex Terrace here. So I wanted to make this a very important video on one of the most important, debatably the most important supplement on the market. And if you are not familiar with it, well, this is very exciting. So there are many products out there, as you know, and there's a lot of great, incredible things for your health. Although I do notice that there's a lot of information both for practitioners and just everyday people. And it's easy to get bombarded with, all these sorts of different modalities and again, different supplements out there, and to overlook the most foundational, crucial aspects of human health. And one of those things being, of course, minerals. Okay. And so the product that addresses that best in terms of deficiencies is known as Quinton's Ocean Marine Plasma. And there's René Quinton. He is French and no longer alive, as you might have guessed from that photo. And for generations, not generations, but decades, it would come in this little vial right here. It still does, a little glass vial, ampule. Believe it or not, the shape of the ampule is part of the research in terms of keeping what's in there viable, which is very interesting. It is also now sold as a liter size, and also now sold in like a type of plastic where you can peel off the end if you don't want glass for portable administration. It's got 84 seawater electrolytes. Now here's the crucial thing, folks. It's got prebiotic complexes. Okay, so all the different healthy bacteria all over your body, especially the gut. It's got marine cofactors. It's a lot to get into. We're not going to get into it right on this call. And there's microenzyme catalysts. Okay, so just to be clear, when you go get a multi-mineral, all right, whether it's from the Great Salt Lake or wherever, if it is not ocean marine plasma, this product does not have these things in it. Okay, now debatably, you could say that minerals, are used by bacteria and they got, it could be seen as a prebiotic. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's true. But there are other factors that are involved in actual living seawater, okay? And where this is actually specially extracted from. So not just anywhere, okay? You're just not gonna take a cup, go out on your boat, scoop it out of the ocean and drink it. There's a little bit more to it than that, which we'll briefly touch on here. But I just wanted to point out right off the bat, this is not a video about another multi-mineral trace mineral product, okay? Because there is literally nothing like this one. This is living. There is zero pasteurization. There is zero modification, okay, of this product when it is taken from a specific region of the ocean. And it is a region where there are phytoplankton consuming and eating minerals, and there are natural vortices. So the way that the water moves is in a clockwise fashion, okay? And these natural vortices also have, it's a lot to get into, but influence the mineral and other structures in the water in specific configurations based on the geomagnetic energy that moves through vortices, okay? And also the magic of phytoplankton and other living things consuming and excreting and providing pre-digested and other enzymatic compounds in the water in that region. Okay, so we've all, not everybody, but if you may have heard of like marine phytoplankton and how good that is to consume, this is basically, you could almost say pre-digested from marine phytoplankton as well. Okay, so as they refer to it, under specific life incubating conditions, enormous vortex plankton blooms from the open ocean. The vortex movement stirs up nutrients from the bottom of the ocean floor that in turn feeds the plankton and the sea life they support. This unique ocean oasis, high concentrations of microscopic sea life act as virtual factories that in turn, turn out a soup of life. For example, the vortex plankton blooms produce more vegetation than all the vegetation on the land. That's mind-blowing, isn't it? In turn, these plankton blooms are consumed by zillions of zooplankton that are the secret that secrete a viscous life fluid of marine nutrients. So here's the key takeaway, okay? And there's a huge amount of research. This is literally the most researched mineral product historically ever. You could also say, actually, this is one of the most original originally most researched supplements, health supplements historically, okay? In 1887, it actually started pre-René, actually, believe it or not, he just happened to contribute a whole lot to it, but they were already doing research ahead of him. Anyways, they discovered that marine plasma had the ability to restore the quality of our internal fluids by replenishing the 84 minerals found and by feeding the healthy bacteria and enzymes found within our internal ocean with marine cofactors, okay? So again, there is more to the importance of a trace mineral supplement than, is there trace amounts of selenium in it? Is there trace amounts of chromium in it? It is not just about the minerals. That is very, very limited thinking. It's far, far, far more complex than that when you get into the body. It's kind of just like saying, well, the water coming from my tap or in the river is the same as the water in my cells or around my cells. Not at all. It's not that simple. I mean, remember, we're these incredible living beings. You could imagine it's going to be a lot more complex than that. So the key takeaway is that to keep a perfect homeostasis and bioterrain, so bioterrain meaning like the medium that is inside the cells and outside the cells, which of course is mostly water, and then the water-like fluid, let's just say. And then the big question is, what has to be in that magical water of life in order to facilitate these mind-blowing, really, metabolic processes to convey even cell-to-cell signaling, which is an electromagnetic process. It's both light and sound and the electromagnetic spectrum. What has to be in there? Obviously something really important. And interestingly, that is almost nearly identical of what is in this solution. So here we have an analysis, okay? And by the way, the company that sells this has been in business for 120 years. So they're actually one of the few companies out there selling product to market approved by the FDA that is not heat pasteurized, right? It's like a miraculous breakthrough. How did they pull that off? A ridiculous amount of hoops to jump through over a period of time. So they do a cold, long-term pasteurization process that takes the product through like something like 154, I don't even know what it is, 100 something points of inspection and testing. I mean, literally, that's what it took to be selling this product and with the FDA to be okay with it. It was a crazy scenario. But it has to be done that way, because otherwise, if you cook this product like a couple others on the market do and process it, you lose all of the magic. That would just be like taking the fluids out of your body, right? How about we just take, 80, 90% of the fluids out of your body, I'll cook it up in a pan and we'll just throw it back in. Well, you'd be dead. Okay, that's what would happen. So in other words, when you consume other things, they're just dead products. Like they have no life-giving effect. And we'll talk about the studies that have proved those miraculous life-giving properties to this. So here we are, here's the product over here on the left. Okay, here's the ratio of what? A ratio of all these things on the right-hand column here, this little key, okay? These are a lot of the most common elemental aspects that we see in the composition of blood plasma, again, fluid plasma. So that's the ratio. Now let's look at, the extracellular fluid, okay? So the fluid is what? Extra means outside of the cell, all right? And then now we're gonna look into the blood plasma. If you don't know what blood plasma is, just do a quick Google or YouTube. But anyways, so key being here is that the health of the blood plasma, well, that really affects the health of every single cell, because that is what's responsible for delivering nutrients and helping to mobilize defenses and protection and all kinds of stuff for all the cells in your body. So look at how nearly identical this is. So crazy. I mean, especially look at the extracellular fluid. That is just like nuts. If you didn't even know they were different, you would just have no way of telling. So nearly identical. So what that means is, oh my gosh, all these toxins, stressors, pathogens, you name it, right? Accidents, injuries, you name it, can affect what is in that extracellular fluid, especially as you age. So when that happens, you have a nearly infinite amount of metabolic consequences, okay? So wouldn't it be amazing if you could just perfectly replace, near perfectly replace what the body needs in the extracellular fluid around the cells? You can by consuming this product. That's crazy, because Yes, there are all these other factors which you may have to address at some point, pathogens and toxins and all these other things, right? They disturb the extracellular fluid around cells. That then disturbs cell functions, which leads to practically unlimited health consequences. So we do want to replenish that bioterrain so the body can do that. But at the same time, we also want to clean the terrain too. Okay, so replenishing also does aid the immune system and all kinds of metabolic functions guided by genetic transcription, you name it, signals to clean up that terrain. At the same time, there are, of course, other protocols in terms of elimination, toxin elimination and detox and things like that, changes of lifestyle that, of course, we would want to do as well, right? So we're not just constantly, keeping things there. So we'd want to like optimize the lymphatic system as one small example, okay? Now, also in the blood plasma, this is also super crucial because is what's feeding so many different immune and just life-giving aspects of making healthy blood cells. And depending on how healthy those blood cells are and how capable they are in the blood plasma, that will directly correlate to the health of all the new cells being formed in your body. Hey, guess what? In 7 months, you have completely brand new cells. Are you a completely brand new, perfectly healthy human in 7 months? That would be awesome. I think it should work that way. That's my theory. It's obviously not working that way. Just look around, right? But at the same time, why isn't it working that way? And so that's when we get into the details of like, well, what's going on with your blood plasma? Let's start there. Or when you make a healthy cell, is it getting everything that it needs? The answer is no. Okay, so there's things interrupting when you make a new cell, and you remember your chromosomes divide and all that kind of stuff, right? You're making a new cell. That's where we get into like aging and all the things that contribute to that. So if you can give your cells over that 7-month period or over the rest of your life, everything that they need in these delivery mechanisms or in these wombs inside of yourself where the cells grow, then you really you stand a chance of every 7 months, at least making a large percentage of healthier cells with each year that passes or with each 7-month cycle that passes. That's one of the big secrets to truly regenerating and anti-aging and addressing all known diseases and health conditions, taking advantage of the fact that, yes, actually your cells are technically brand new in your body, but that doesn't mean that all of them are in better shape than they were last time. So there's a lot of like genetic errors and all kinds of things that happen. So this is an amazing, amazing product to help with that process. There are also some incredible not many, but a couple other really incredible supplements that help with that process I'm talking about to really give yourself the best chance of correcting DNA errors, correcting immune patterns that keep transferring over and over and over. If you can change that process, you truly can anti-age really effectively. So like me, myself here, I test as somebody who's actually more with a few different tests you can get out there. Somebody who's like 21, 22, but my biological age, according to counting birthdays, is going to be 40 coming this April. So especially when I shave, people are like, what, are you in high school? So anyways, I lost my little slide here. Okay, so just keep in mind, you may not know this. So why is water so important? It's really the big overlook, right? I'm taking this supplement, I'm doing this protocol, I'm doing this, and there's so many cool things out there. Don't get me wrong. I guide people to all these cool things. But wait a minute. All your molecules are 99% water. So what if you just like mastered water, or you looked into modalities and protocols that addressed the water equation, right? The water aspect of things. What if there was even metaphysical, spiritual practices, energy medicine that was focused on water? So focusing on water, what that is, which is a very advanced science, one of the most advanced, is really kind of where it's at. It's really the key to life and the key to life everywhere in the cosmos. So it's something to pay close attention to. It's where you want to dedicate your budget first, things you add to your water, things that can influence or transmit through water. That's where you want to start technically before you get wrapped up with all the other cool things. And again, here's just another important breakdown, just again, show the importance. Like, wait a minute, if I was really addressing the water equation, my kidneys will work a lot better. Well, if my kidneys worked a lot better, well, many other things would work better, and if my liver worked better, that's the most metabolically active organ in your body. you just improve your liver significant, and literally every other aspect of your body and your health greatly improves. All known conditions greatly improve the more your liver is healthy. The lymph is responsible for moving, well, doing a lot of things with your immune system, of which one of the big things is moving all the metabolic toxins, all the pathogenic toxins from away from your cells and out of the body. Super crucial role there. So people have a lot of lymphatic stagnation, and part of the reason is because that fluid in there is a mess. Okay, and there's also just a lot of deficiencies. So anything else I want to show you? I mean, again, here's just a big takeaway. Like, look at this. You might be thinking you're eating pretty well, but on average, most people are missing all these elements. You see that white space? I mean, that is truly what catches up with you big time over the years and years and years and years. And every decade that goes by, you just will have a whole host of the body continues to try to compensate as much as it can, not having those things. Now, what is one of the main ways that the body compensates, or one of the big consequences to compensating to not having a certain mineral? It actually will grab onto a heavy metal or an inorganic heavy metal in the environment that is like the closest match, okay, that it can. So like a lot of people may hold on to lead in the body. Is it calcium? I should probably know this, I forget. I think it, if you're calcium deficient, or probably somebody knows the answer, and a quick Google will show you. But if you're deficient in one of the main macro minerals, you're going to basically hold on to, your body's going to soak up a lot more lead, for example. Or if you have a lot less silica in your body and other things, your body's going to soak up a lot more aluminum, okay, from the environment. So that's a perfect example. Everybody has a heavy metal problem for the most part, significantly impacting them. And again, why? Several reasons, but the main reason is from a very young age and growing up, severe mineral deficiencies. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this on its axis here. It's because of how we started the farm. It is because of other things they spray in the atmosphere. We don't have to get into it, but it's really a lot of it has to do with industrial practices, GMOs, and all the other things that have been added, processed foods, how they process it. So it's processing of certain products to become a mainstream. Fast food, obviously, but a lot of it is how things were farmed, bad farming practices. Here's just to show you the correlation really between the mineral deficiencies and the practices of farming and the loss here. You see that loss of a lot of crucial macro minerals. We're just talking about the macro, really important ones here. Of course, there's more trace minerals that you need than that. Really, it's closer to like 84. And they were just showing you that, my God, people have a super deficiency in just these few super important ones. And again, it's certainly interesting timing in terms of the exact correlation between deficiencies in certain minerals and the increase at about the same rate in certain major diseases. And there's a fantastic book. If you're like, well, I want to know more about the exact science or biochemistry correlations between like minerals and gene expression or epigenetics that then are affecting amino acid processes. Long story short, I want to know the correlations then between minerals that we're missing and how that affects genetics, which then go on to affect like every other process in the body metabolically, that of course then can lead to disease type states, right? And so this is probably the best book. There's many mineral books out there, not as many as we need actually, but this is one of the best around, I think. It's pretty mind-blowing. So I suggest, and he has a few others too, if you're really into wanting to improve health for yourself and your patients or clients, you just have to get the book and you have to read it. You have to buy it and you have to get a couple of other ones too. Dr. Linus Pauling also had some really great understanding of minerals as well. He's probably 30, 40 years ahead of his time. He also has a mineral line. I'll put a link for below. One of his personal assistants developed an angstrom-sized mineral product line, highly absorbable. Normally you want to start with a base of René Quinton, making sure you're getting absolutely everything in and around the cells and the blood plasma. And then after that, after reading that book and tracking your conditions, you may be able to take a specific try to increase certain minerals that you have a severe deficiency in, okay, on top of that. But generally what we found with a lot of research is if you just take this product for long enough, and you work on other lifestyle changes, right, and detoxification, everything actually just kind of comes back up into balance. It's really cool. All the different minerals, both the macro and the trace, okay? I just wanted to scroll through here. Is there anything else we wanted to see in here? Just the importance of course, your personal drinking water. You have to address that. Do not drink bottled water. Filtration is the best. Spring water is good. But you also want to watch out for how hard that water is to a certain extent. You want to make sure it's tested, okay? And now here is a very cool thing is that if you reach out to me in your practitioner, I can provide you with actual protocols for a variety of different conditions, okay? Now these protocols I'm only giving out to actual practitioners. There's a reason for that because of liability, but I have a couple different documents here, okay? That are specifically for practitioners based on all the research about the different ways you can work with this for serious conditions and what exactly you need to do, okay, for all of these different practices. It's a really incredible document, okay? So if you're a practitioner, you want a copy of that, reach out to me. If you're not a practitioner, you're like, oh my God, I want the protocols. Great. Give me the contact info for your practitioner that you're working with. And then we can send it to them and they can recommend and guide you on those protocols, okay? So I'm just pointing out that, again, this is not like just like cool little supplement you got from like Salt Lake City, not to name any names. There's actually some real solid research and very specific protocols you can do for, very specific disease states and conditions. I wanted to point out very briefly, this is a famous experiment done with this specific seawater. And this also has been done with pigs, which was even more powerful of an experiment because pigs are even so much closer genetically to humans. It's creepy to not get into it. So anyways, here's one on dogs done a long time ago, but they did it on pigs with similar results. But essentially, long story short, was they drained certain amounts of the blood out of dogs, okay? Varying amounts, up to even like 90+%. They did the same thing with pigs. And then they replenished that blood over a couple of days with seawater, with specific, obviously, extraction of seawater from specific regions, okay? And they did it over a period of time. And I believe it was a few days. I haven't read this one in a while. 11 hours. There's that one. Anyways, they've been injecting it, okay? So actually not that long period of time. Bottom line, which is mind-blowing, okay, is that even when they remove practically all the blood out of the dogs or the pigs, after a day or two, they found that all of the blood was back. Listen to that again. They removed almost all the blood, which would normally kill, obviously, any type of mammal. Within a day or two, they did not put blood back in the body. No transfusions. They only transfused this type of seawater, and all the blood magically came back. Animals were perfectly healthy. I believe a lot of them were, if not healthier than before, okay? So how's that possible? Is it possible by like throwing some minerals in their body, like, oh, take some minerals, I'll put it in the animal feed, or let's put some minerals, we'll put in some water and we'll throw it in their blood. Does that work that way? No, it does not work that way. They would all die. You need to have not just every mineral, it's the other cofactors, the life-giving other things, enzymatics, cofactors that when you deal with very simple, like eukaryotic, phytoplankton, all these different other small little life in colloidal life in those specific areas of the ocean, they're at a stage of evolutionary development where when they take minerals and other compounds, they produce other compounds that our body does, that our cells do, what our bacteria does in our gut. You get it? So it's giving us a lot of the foundational cofactors and nutrients that the body would then take alchemically and transform and turn into red corpuscles, hemoglobin, other types of compounds, okay? So that's how this is able to do what it's doing, because it's giving a lot of these precursor, primordial, foundational elements. So not just the minerals. I just want to make that clear. If it wasn't giving all those prefactors, all these animals would always die. And also all the other studies they've done on serious conditions where it seems to improve or heal a wide variety of different like serious health conditions. It just wouldn't do that if it was just like regular minerals, okay, just straight up normal minerals, like, or leached, from humic acid deposit. Don't get me wrong, humic acids are freaking amazing, but like there's a lot of things leached from these old humate deposits and things like that, and leached through a variety of means, whether it's water or other things. Again, you cannot achieve what this achieves with those types of minerals. And sidebar comment, if you find a really good, I know like the one very high quality fulvic and humic that's out there, that is amazing stuff. It's a great supplement, but it still cannot do, it's very, very different from this. Okay, it's not life-giving in the way that this is, but it does have other very supportive properties and its own things that are unique unto it. But you can reach out to me if you have any questions about that on my website or below in the comments. So yeah, I have a lot of documents if you want to reach out, learn the history of this product, René Quinton, the studies, protocols. But it's important when we get into this whole acid-alkaline balance, which is like one of the big keys to making sure that all these processes here, all these crucial things you got to balance, which is freaking complicated. If you just want to take something that can help balance all of that out, where your body just says, hey, I got everything I need to be able to balance all this, especially parasympathetic, sympathetic, the stress situation, stress caused by environmental toxins, electrosmog, which is probably one of the biggest offenders today. And again, stress, not sleeping well. You need to work on these things with your nervous system, that regulatory HPA, autonomic nervous system, vagus, all that stuff. People do not realize that one of the big keys to do that and why they have challenges and get so dysregulated is water, and again, minerals and everything that's in there. So this is foundationally how you start to turn these things around, foundationally how you move out of systemic tissue acidosis. Again, this is where you begin. Okay, there's other great like parasympathetic, sympathetic devices, and even things I've talked about on this channel. Great things out there. This is what you would use foundationally or as a prerequisite or in conjunction with other modalities and protocols out there. Okay. Anything else I want to show you here? Nope. Anyways, if you want some of these documents, which are extremely educational, just reach out. I'll send you my link. And actually, I will put this link below in the description of this video, so you can take a look. The only thing that you won't see there is the protocols for practitioners, for licensed practitioners. If you are, just reach out to me on my website or email below, and I can send that to you. I hope this was educational. It's something that I encourage all of you to look into, okay, more fully. This is one of the most important supplements to take. And I do discounts on this. I do discounts even on liter size. So when you see the price of the little ampules here, that is also a lot more expensive than buying the whole liter at the same time, or just buying the larger volume. So that's the best economical way to go, especially with a discount on that. So if you want some special discounts, just reach out to me. Be happy to help.